been a minor incident here at 3AW. Yesterday with Peter Hitchener, we were discussing sort of fashion faux pas where things have gone just a little bit wrong. And I will be speaking to the Royal Butler very, very shortly. But Andrew McLaren, good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon. Good to see you, except on a Friday. You know, a little Wednesday treat here.
Look, it's a Wednesday treat, but can you please explain what the hell you've done?
Well, I just happened to run into your producer, the lovely Katie, as I was walking down the corridor here, just looking for management to speak to.
Degrees to.
Well, yes, and to mention faults of yours too.
Yes, good.
I hope you don't mind.
Well, I've been discussing you this morning.
Oh no, have you?
No.
Anyway. But as I looked down, I realised I have odd shoes on.
Don't they feel different?
Well, vaguely, but they're supposed to slip on, and I was in a bit of a rush to get here today because I wanted
sort of
to...
hush puppies.
Yeah, I was anxious to get to management before they knock off for their long leisurely lunches. And I just realised I've got on a pair of slippers.
They're sort of slippers.
Well, one slipper and one black shoe.
Do you ever go out in your slippers? It's very Perry Como of you.
Well, I don't not venture beyond the sort of boundaries of the state. No, I just collect the mail sometimes in them. But I just feel like an absolute idiot wandering around here because everyone's, sort of dressed for success, and there's all this sort of power dressing goes on in this building, and here am I with a slipper on my left foot.
With your hush puppies, online is Grant Harrold, who's the Royal Butler. Grant, welcome to 3AW, and what sort of a man am I sitting talking to here?
Well, I must confess, Dennis, I'm starting to get a bit worried myself. When I had the wrong shoes, I thought, am I in the right conversation?
It doesn't look good.
What kind of shoes is it?
One's a slipper.
One's a black slip-on shoe. Does that pass muster? It was $108 the pair. I just choose to wear one at a time at the moment.
They sound lovely.
Well, it was okay. It was a fair price, I thought, for a shoe.
The photo is up at 3aw.com.au and also on the Facebook page as well.
Yes, and
Andrew's
also the
feet,
slipper,
tinea
yes.
and all.
I feel bad about it, especially in lieu of right in the presence of the Royal Butler.
Grant, how did you become a butler? Stay around, Andrew.
Oh, okay.
Basically, I always say to people by determination. And what I mean by that, I was quite young when I got this kind of. I've always had a love of the royal family, and I think I was about 9 or 10 when I wrote to the Queen. And according to my parents, I don't really remember, but according to my parents, I wrote to the Queen asking, how do you become a member of the royal family? Or can you work for the royal family? And she actually responded, or through her lady in waiting, she actually responded. And I didn't stop there. I then sent another letter, I think about a year later, and this time I enclosed my photograph just to see if I was probably up to the standard. And again, she had somebody write back. And so that was kind of how it all kind of started. And then it was a few years later when the opportunity came up when I was working for the Duke and Duchess of Bedford, and somebody had mentioned to me that the Prince was looking for a butler, and I thought, I'll have a go. I'll apply, and it was about 6 months of interviews, so it was a long process. And on the final interview, I met the man himself, and just after that, I was offered the job. So
what age were you when you first wrote?
Oh, 9 or 10. I was quite young. I obviously knew what I was thinking. I must have had a plan.
You must have. It must have been you calling, and you worked for Prince William and Kate, Prince Harry, the Queen, Charles, and Camilla.
Yeah, everyone. Obviously, I was employed by the Royal Household for the Prince of Wales, and during my time there, I was lucky enough to look after all the family, which has been magical. And again, I do remember my very first year with them, and every other month I was almost kind of pinching myself because I was amazed that I'd actually got into this fantastic position.
I have to ask, have you signed a confidentiality agreement? Are you able to discuss in any kind of detail incidents you've experienced?
Yeah, well, actually, you do sign. Obviously, you have to. I mean, if you have somebody work for you, you have to. And it's for the simple reason that there's obviously certain things that you don't want in the public domain. But we're all like that. We all, there's certain things you don't want people to obviously know about in your private life, and that I really respect. And not because I had to sign anything. I'm quite a private person myself, and I do respect that. But on saying that, I was very lucky that there was a lot of time I spent with the Royals in my time, when I wasn't obviously working for them, and I was lucky enough to be invited to different events with them on a couple of occasions. I got to socialise with them. You'd go to, which was very weird for me, you'd go to the local pub not far from Highgrove, and you would find Prince William or Prince Harry, or William and Harry as I knew them, in the pub. And again, that was a shock the first time I went down, because I was in there, and a water balloon thing kind of went past, and I wondered, I kind of looked around thinking, who was that? And the next thing, Harry appeared, obviously apologising and kind of saying, "Oh, hi, I'm Harry," but he knew who I was, because he knew I was obviously had started working for the family, and that just gives you an idea of it's a very modern royal family where they've got a kind of modern approach to things now.
And that's it seems so much different to when the Queen was a lot younger. They seem very comfortable, and even as in their own personalities, they seem so much more comfortable without the pretense.
They are, and the other thing that's really nice, and I think it's starting to come across now, especially thankfully through the media, is that they are very much a family, and they really do all get on really well, and they, obviously as a family love each other. And again, what's been really fun for me is when I worked for them, there's obviously different properties, and they've got a couple of homes that I'd call family homes, like Sandringham and Balmoral, where the family would all get together and they would spend time together. And I'm sure you know, but I've obviously came over to Australia to kind of celebrate the long weekend with Stayz and also the Queen's 90th. And part of what we've been talking about within the kind of campaign was the fact that the accommodation for the royals, how they all go and stay together, is very similar to with what Stayz does. That you can go and stay in one place with your whole family and entertain, and even to an extent if you want, have some butlers and things. So it's been a really interesting and exciting thing for me to be involved in.
It sounds like it, Grant. Grant, I also have to ask this question. I was told once by somebody many, many years ago that Prince Charles, and I don't know if it would be your duty or would have been your duty, he actually has his toothpaste squeezed onto the brush for him each morning before he enters the bathroom. Is that so? Can you lift the lid on that?
Do you know, I would even believe something like that personally. I wouldn't know anyway, because it is actually, and this will really confuse, it's a very different department, but I honestly would not, I wouldn't believe that personally. I think that's somebody that's kind of started a bit of a strange story. I mean, the funny thing is, for myself, I think even if I had a butler, I don't think I would even get them to do things like that. I think I wouldn't want to ask for that kind of thing. But no, I think the thing is, with the family, there's a lot of kind of myths that seem to kind of come up, and it annoys me because I'm lucky enough to have obviously got to know them, and as we said, there's obviously things I wouldn't talk about, but you sometimes want to come to the defence and say someone's making it up, but it's difficult, and sometimes it's best to say nothing.
Grant, you're in Australia, as you mentioned, with Stayz. You're sharing your tips on entertaining and etiquette. Would you be happy to take some listener calls after the break?
I would love to. Be thrilled to.
Excellent. And could I, just so you can show people what not to do and how you do not get prepared for the day, could I send you a photo of Andrew's feet to put up at your talk?
I would love you to. I'm terrified that I'll get a shock, but yeah, absolutely, please do.
Yeah, steel yourself for a bit. But let me assure you, Grant, it's a momentary lapse on my behalf.
I believe you. I was impressed when you said slippers. I have these images of monogrammed slippers or something, but I'm sure it's not quite what I'm thinking.
You are heading into the exact personality. You picked him. Andrew, you've got to go because you've got agrees to management, which is totally the wrong thing to do.
Well, no, afternoon tea time almost for them. I usually get something.
Oh, you haven't brought in high tea again.
Yes.
Oh, the old high tea routine. Talk to you on Friday.
Thank you, Dan.
Grant Harrold is here. He'll take you calls. You might have some question about entertaining or etiquette. The Queen's birthday weekend is ahead. 96900 693 for your questions.